¿Vas a hacer caso? Look at me. Are you gonna listen to me?
Yeah.
Okay. You're gonna be a good baby?
Yeah.
Okay. Then say hi. Hi, guys. Say hi. No, say hi. Dile hi.
I
¿Cómo te llamas?
Tata.
¿Cuántos años tienes? No. How old are you? 2. Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. Sit down. So, if you're new to our channel, you might have to watch. You might have to watch the other 2 videos to get this video. And get off. Bye. And yeah, she is like, no, chill out. You're okay. ¿Por qué te quitaste la de esta? Todos te están mirando que estás llorando. Mira, qué fea. Wow, that's so ugly. And you're so fake. Hey, look at me. Are you a baby or a big girl? Okay, big girls don't cry. Okay? Are you okay? Do you love your mama? Do you love your mama? Okay, give me a kiss. Thank you. Te amo.
Ma.
Anyways, so you're gonna have to watch the other 2 videos to get this video. And so I left off where I kept saying that I found him. And where I kept saying that I found him. So basically, after I found his parents, well, I guess his dad's Facebook. I actually have it right here, but you guys can't see it because I printed out a picture. So after I found his parents, or his dad's Facebook, I didn't know what to do. So I ended up messaging the dad. And basically I was like, hey, like, sorry to bother you. I'm not sure if, like, your son mentioned to you that he had a daughter. That he had a daughter. And I've tried to reach out to him and he doesn't, I guess, reach back out to me. Like, she's, I can't remember how many months she was, but she's, I don't know, 4 or 5 months, and she is the best thing that has happened to me. She's perfect. This is my Facebook. If you want to reach out to me, here's my number. Feel free to call me, whatever, message me, whatever. So then I've waited for like a week, 2 weeks passed by, 3 weeks passed by, and like, they didn't say anything. Like, he didn't reply back. So then I started getting upset. Like, I got sad and stuff, and I'm like, what the heck? Like, do they not care about her? Like, are they not, like, curious as to, you know, like, if she is his or what? And then I'm like, okay, fine. Well, I'll reach out to somebody else. So I added I think it's his little brother. I added his little brother on Facebook, and he added me back, and when he added me back, I kind of said the same thing, like, hey, my name's whatever, Marta Fernandez. I've been trying to get a hold of your brother. I'm not sure if he told you, but he has a daughter. Her name's Catalea, and like, can you help me out? Like, can you, I guess, tell him to call me or something? And he read it. Like, he read my message, but he didn't say anything. So then I started, like, getting really mad. And I kept thinking, like, the more I look into this and the more I try to reach out, the more I find more information about him, I'm just getting upset. Okay, give me it. Give me it. Dámelo. So then the more that I found myself, like, getting into it, I started, like, messing with myself, like, mentally, obviously, and physically. Like, I was always mad. When I was pregnant, I was so mad. Like, I hated everyone. I was just mad. And I guess, like, so I'm sure it had to be because of this, you know, like, the way I got pregnant, and, like, you know, like, I was just alone. And but I'm, like, a bitch overall. Like, that's, I guess, my attitude. But when I was pregnant, I was just mad at everyone, and I hated everyone. Like, I felt so bad. There was these two little girls I lived with. Used to live at some apartments, and there was two little girls that lived on top of us. Man, I feel so bad because I hated them. Like, every time I would see them, I would be like, oh, I just want to. I hated them. Anyways, that's beside the point. But, and, well, so this whole time, I was just like, you know what, I just need to stop, because I'm just messing with myself, you know, like, I guess if he really wanted to be in the picture, like, he would already, I don't know, call me, I guess, or, I guess, try to be there for her, not for me, because I really don't care, but, you know, like, want to meet his daughter. But that wasn't the case. So my daughter started, she was born normal, everything was fine, like, my labor was perfectly fine. When she was, like, I want to say, like, a week, 2 weeks old, she started getting, like, this, at first I thought it was a rash, because she sweats a lot, and I thought it was like a rash at first, behind her ear, and then from there it started, like, getting worse and worse, and it started after a while, like, her skin started peeling off, and it started looking like if it was a burn, like if she had burned herself, or, you know, when you burn yourself, like, your skin starts peeling off and it looks like your meat and stuff. Well, that's how it was back here. And then after a while, it started smelling so bad, like, so bad, and I was like, what the heck, like, this isn't normal. And I had already taken her, when it first started, I took her in to the doctors, and they were like, oh no, like, it's baby rash and stuff, like, it'll be fine, like, just kind of try not to put, like, on headbands and stuff, like, on her ear, or just don't put nothing on her, so it can, like, I guess, air dry. And I'm like, okay. And then it started getting worse and worse, and so after, I switched her doctors, like, 4 or 5 times, and for the reason that they never, like, the doctors that I would have, or that I had, were never, like, attentive with her. They never, like, when I told them something, like, hey, I think something's wrong, they would just be like, oh no, like, it's gonna go away, because, like, you know, like, when she grows up or whatever, as she's growing, it'll fade away or whatever. And so I took her in, and they were like, well, we think it's fungus, we're not sure what it is, but we think it's fungus. And I'm like, how the hell did she get fungus behind her ear? She's only, like, a week, 2 weeks old. And then from there, her head, she would only lay on one side. It was her left side, like all the time. I would like lay her down and she would just be on her left side, and then like just her head though, like she would be laying on her back, but her head would be turning to the left, and I would like try to flip her over and her head would just go like straight back to where it was, which was the left side. And I'm like, what the heck? So then I would like tell her doctor, like, hey, like, I don't know, so I think something's wrong because her head, she's just always to the left side. So when they were like, roll up, like, they were telling me to buy a pillow that, like, to elevate her or whatever, but I could put that like on the side of her. But instead I just like would roll little like blankets and stuff and like roll them like on her side so she could be sleeping, or I mean laying down on her side. And it never did work. Like she would like move, and then it would be back to normal, like her being on her left side. So I took her in, I changed her doctor because they didn't know what the hell they were talking about. So the doctor that she has now is the one where, because I would mention to them, hey, like her head's kind of weird, like it's shaped super weird. And they were like, no, like it's nothing to be worrying about, like you're fine. And I'm like, they were like, as she grows, her head's gonna be molding, into like the shape that it's supposed to be. And I'm like, okay. And so then like months would pass by and I wouldn't see no changes, and I'm like, what the heck, something's wrong. So the doctor that she has now, the first day that we met her, or that we went in and like I met her and stuff, I mentioned to her, that's the first thing I said. I'm like, hey, like her head is like shaped super weird, and the doctors that I've mentioned to before, they just keep saying like as she grows older, like it'll shape good. But she was like, no, I think she needs a helmet. And now and I've seen it before, like on babies, like a long time ago, but I never really obviously knew what they were for. I think I just always thought they were for seizures, and I know that's one reason why babies wear them, or people overall. And so then she was like, but the one person who's going to be able to tell you would be a therapist, like a physical therapist. And I'm like, okay. So then she referred me to a physical therapist, and she saw her. She was like, yeah, she needs a helmet, like ASAP, because by this time Cat was already 9 months old, and she was like, babies usually start wearing helmets when they're like 4 to 6 months old, just because their head is so soft. So then I was like, okay. She was like, so you need to go in and see, I'm gonna send you to this place, whatever. We went, and yeah, she was like, yeah, her head is pretty bad, like she needs to be wearing a helmet. But if like you kind of need to decide if you want her to wear one like now, because she's just getting older and older. And I'm like, okay. So she has insurance, but her insurance didn't cover it, and the helmet itself was $3,000. Mind you, I didn't work before I was pregnant, I didn't work while I was pregnant, and I didn't work after I was pregnant. So I had no money, you know what I mean? Like, I had no money saved. I didn't have anything. So I'm like, okay, well, I mean, yeah, she needs it, but I don't fucking have $3,000. And then I just kept stressing about it and stuff. Like, a lot of my family helped me out. My mom and my sisters helped me out. Like, if it wasn't for them, she would have never had the helmet. And, and then it was around that time where I started getting really mad, because I'm like, what the fuck? I mean, like, she's not only my child, I didn't make her myself. I shouldn't have to be, like, stressing over these things, like, on my own. And so I was like, whatever. And I've always like told myself, like, I wouldn't put him on child support, just because, I don't know, maybe it was my pride that I didn't want to, like, I wanted to be like, oh yeah, like, I don't have him on child support. But hell no, like, he's out here living his best life, no worries, just because, I don't know, because he thinks that she's not his. But so I was like, whatever. I looked up, like, or I just called DHS or whatever, and I'm like, I, like, want to put my daughter's father on child support. And then they sent me, like, a package. It was, like, 15 pieces of paper. And they were like, just fill out as much as you can, like, you know, and, like, we'll do the rest. Like, that's our job. And I told her, I'm like, I don't know anything about him. Like, I just know his name. She's like, yeah, that's fine. Like, just write it down and then we'll do the rest. You know, like, that's our job. And I'm like, okay. I got the paper, and the only thing that I was able to fill out was the first page, and it was like 2 questions. Well, 3. I wrote his name down, and I wrote his name down and that he lived in Colorado. And they were like, oh, and then that was it. I sent it in, and it was like 15 pages of, it was like 15 pages of paper. And so then she sent me some more, like a few days passed or whatever, and she was like, okay, well, they sent me more paperwork, and they were like, do you know, like, anything else? Do you have pictures of him? Do you have, like, does he have social media, like his phone number? And by this time, I had already found, like, his dad's Facebook, so I printed out pictures where he came out. I printed out their house. That's why I have these pictures. It was, like, the dad's Facebook, their parents' house, like, the parents, like, him and his brothers, I don't know, him and his cousins, like, him and, I don't know who these people are, his family, I guess, friends, I don't know. But so I had printed these out, and I printed out the pictures. I printed out a picture of me and him. I don't know where it's at. Like the one that we took from that night, because I was going to send it in. And I had wrote down, like, his social media, but I was like, you know, like, I'm blocked, and his phone number, and I just said, I don't know if it's the same, because I didn't know. I was thinking he had changed it or something, because he was, like, I was stalking him or whatever. So so when I was going to send it in, I had downloaded the app, WhatsApp, on my phone. I don't know why I did. I thought you were able to look up people by, like, their phone, by their names. I don't know how it worked. And when I, like, downloaded it, my contacts automatically, like, connected to it. And it said, like, Bob Campas. And I was like, holy shit, does he have one? So I clicked on it, and on that app, it tells you when the person was last logged on. And it said he had just got offline, like, a minute, 2 minutes ago. So I'm like, oh shit, I finally have contact with him. So I was working at a chiropractor, and I didn't think he had already gotten, like, served with child support. So I took a picture of, like, the paperwork where it says, like, DHS whatever, you know, like, child support shit, and I sent it to him. Like, those were, like, the first 3, or I sent that, and I sent a picture of Cat, and then I sent I think that was it. And he saw it, and I was at work, and he was like, I'll call you tomorrow, don't contact my family anymore. And so then I was freaking out, and all I said was, okay, I'll be waiting. And so the next day happened, and I had to leave work because I was freaking out. I was crying. I had all these emotions going on with me, and I think I was just freaking out more than anything because I haven't heard from him since I told him I was pregnant, and that was like a whole year already had already passed, kinda. And so I went home the next day. I went back to work, and I was in the middle of a session with the patient, and he calls me, and I literally walked out. Like, I left the patient there and I walked out and I answered his phone call, and then he was like, can I talk to you? He's like, do you have... Oh, no. The first thing that he said was, just to make this clear, this is the first time that we've talked on the phone, right? And it was like a weird ass question. So I'm thinking, like, he's either recording me or something, you know? Because, I mean, who the fuck would ask that the first time that you start talking to somebody again? So, I was like, besides Vegas, yeah, this is the first time that we talk on the phone. And he's like, okay. And then he would ask me questions like, he was asking me, like, he said, I think he said something like, I never did try to contact you. I don't remember. But it was like direct ass questions that I'm like, okay, you're recording me, so I need to watch out what I'm saying, you know? And I was just like, I was like, how can you do this? Like, how can you not be, I guess, wondering if she is your daughter or not? Like, it's about to be, I don't know, a year and a half already, and like, I've been trying to reach out to you this whole time, and like, you haven't, because I forgot this big old part. So, okay, so I'm going back. So when I told him that I was pregnant, he kept telling me to have the abortion, and I kept saying no. He was like, I'll fly out there, and then I'll go with you to have the abortion, and I'll give you a couple $1,000 for you, just for yourself. And I was like, I'm not gonna have the abortion. You could give me the couple $1,000 because I'm keeping your baby, and it'll be for the baby, you know? Like, it was dumb. He like didn't know what to do. He kept telling me that I was still in time to take the abortion pill. He would send me like all these screenshots of like him looking up like what the abortion pill did, that it was just like a miscarriage. Like, he was like onto it. Like, he was like, he didn't want to go with this pregnancy, clearly. So when I was talking to him on the phone, I was just like, how can you do this? Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. Where have you been? Like, you know, like, because he was like, how is she? Does she eat? How, like, is she healthy? Like, does she have clothes? Does she have this? Does she have that? I'm like, she has all that, but she needs more. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I'm working and stuff, but like, I don't know. I don't remember what exactly I said, but it was just, oh, and I had so many questions. I had so many questions, but when he called me, I could not think of not one to ask him, or I don't know what to say. I was kind of out of it. I don't know. I was stressing forever. So then when he asked how she was, and I'm like, well, she needs a helmet. Well, she wears it because she had already had the helmet, and I'm like, she wears a helmet. She has plagiocephaly. That's what. So basically, her head, like, our head is like a circle, and her head was like this, and it got better. So right now it's kind of like, it's still pretty fat. I mean, not fat. It's still pretty flat, but you can't really tell because of her hair. And this is actually her helmet. Super cute. And it was a struggle with this. Like, she never did mind it. She didn't care, like, to wear it, but like, she had to wear it for 23 hours all the time. 23 hours, 7 days a week. And the hour that I did take it off was to clean this, because she would sweat a lot, so it would smell, and to shower her because she would be sweaty, and she had it on during the summer, so it was pretty bad. and then every time like they would have to adjust it, like it's foam in here, so they would have to like shave it off to fit her head as it was changing. And so I'm like, yeah, she wears a helmet. And so whatever, we were just talking, and he was like, oh, he kept telling me that I was crazy. He was like, you're crazy. He still, till this day, he told me that I'm crazy. He's like, you're psycho. Like, why would you message my family? Why would you get my parents into this? I'm like, wait, did you already get served with child support? He was like, yeah, like back, this was, I think, like in, I don't know, but maybe January last year. I don't know. Yeah, it was around January, December, somewhere. It was December or January, because he goes, we were already like in November, and he was like, yeah, I got served back in like Halloween shit, like around that time. And I'm like, dang, you got served literally like right away. And I'm like, and that's weird. I'm like, I thought this was going to take months, because I only put your name and like that you lived in Colorado, because that's all the information that I knew. And he was like, no, he's like, I'm surprised that like DHS found me. He's like, cause like I'm nowhere to be found, basically. He's like, that's when he was like, me and my family are super low key. And I was like, what the hell? I'm like, well, I guess nobody can hide from DHS, right? And he was like, no, seriously. So then he goes, oh, and then he was like, I'm not trying to scare you or anything like that. I don't think that I'm trying to take the baby away, but I hired a couple of lawyers, and you should be hearing from them. And so then I got scared, because I'm like, you kind of don't mess with lawyers, like I don't have a lawyer. I don't have the money for a lawyer. And so, like, what am I going to do? And I'm like, okay. So I didn't show him that I was scared, but I'm like, okay, yeah, that's fine. But when I had signed the paper, I put a P.O. box on there, because I didn't want him to have my address. And he goes, oh, he's like, by the way, do you have an address? Like, can I just have your house address? Because my lawyers have been trying to get to you, and it's like a P.O. box, and like they haven't been able to reach you. And I was like, I guess, right? Like, whatever, you can have my address. So I gave him my address, and literally that night, it was like 9:30, 10 at night, and I'm in the living room, and then somebody knocks. We had just moved into this house, and somebody knocks at the front door, and then my mom opened it, and they were like, does Maritza Fernandez live here? And then I heard, and I was like, yeah, like, it's me. And then he was like, you just been served, and gave me like a big old orange envelope, the big ones. And I was like, I looked at him, and I'm like, what is this? Like, served with what? And he was like, I don't know, I'm just a processor. So I opened it, and the first page, it said like Bob Campas versus Maritza Fernandez. And I was like, what the hell is going on? Like, what the I didn't do shit. Like, is he getting at me because I was stalking him, and then I reached out to his family, or what? Because I haven't done anything. And so then I started freaking out, and like the first page said that he was suing me for stress and shit. So I mean, like, those court papers, like the lawyer papers and stuff like that, are so weird. Like, they're so hard. I understand them, but I don't understand them at the same time. So I got the papers. I called probably like 30, I don't know, lawyers to see like if they can help me out, like how much they charge, how much, everything. Like, I was gonna get a lawyer, because I'm like, from what it seems like, he's trying to F me over, and I don't have time for that, Like, what if he tries to take her away? But I'm like, would he take her away? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I don't know him, so I don't know what he's capable of. So I was going crazy. I was stressing. I wouldn't sleep. And, oh, you guys want to know something sad? Damn it. So when Kat was born, she had so much sentimiento. Like, she was so sad. She was such a sad baby. Like, she was such a happy baby, but she would just start, like, crying out of nowhere. Like, I guess because when I was pregnant and everything was going on, like, my family, my mom and my sisters and everybody would be like, no, like, don't cry, because the baby could feel you, like, being sad and stuff. And so I would just hold back my tears, because I'm like, well, I don't want my baby to be sad, like, I don't want her to know that I'm sad. So when Kat was born, she was born, like, crying, like, but, like, in a hurt way, like, if she was sad, like, if she knew what was going on. And then when she came out of me, I looked at her, and literally, she looks just like her dad. Like, she looks like copy and paste. Like, literally, like it was like if I was just looking at her dad. And so, and I would get so sad, because I'm like, clearly she doesn't know what's going on. She doesn't know that her dad doesn't want her and is not in the picture, but it would just make me sad, because I'm like, why is she crying like that? Like, it was super sad. But anyways, so then I was going crazy, like, looking for, like, lawyers and stuff, like, and when I got his paperwork, and he wouldn't call me, when I would message him on WhatsApp, he still wouldn't, like, reply to me. And I was thinking, I'm like, well, maybe his lawyers are telling him not to write. Like, maybe they're probably just waiting for me to slip on something, and then they're gonna be like, boom, or something like that. And so then I started thinking, like, okay, well, so so he had gone and served, like, back in October. And then, so when he got served, that's when I was, like, messaging his dad and his brother and stuff, and I would still, like, message him and all that, or try to contact him. So I'm like, were they waiting for me to, like, do something there too? Because he had time to plan out something to hire lawyers, and he hired the lawyers from Oklahoma. And then, I don't know, it was just crazy. And then when he said that he hired lawyers, he was like, I hired the best ones there in Oklahoma. Like, they're pretty good. They're super expensive, like, super, super expensive. And then so I got even more scared, like, what the hell? Like, I need a lawyer. And I called a lot of lawyers, and there was a lawyer who was able to give me, like, and I told her, I'm like, I don't have, like, money to, like, I don't have money to hire you guys, but is there any advice that you can give me? I don't know, just something as of what to do in my situation. And she was like, honey, you really need to hire a lawyer. Like, I'm not just trying to get money out of you, but you really need to, because it seems like he's really trying to, like, F you over. And the lawyers that he got, they're like bulldogs. Like, they are ready to attack. And clearly, because they're super expensive, like they're gonna do their job. So I was stressing a lot. And I would just tell him, I'm like, dude, like, why'd you get lawyers? Like, we can just agree to this. So when I filed for child support, I was wanting to put child support on him, because I wanted him to be in her life, like, I mean, that was already me forcing him to be in her life, but it didn't work. And whatever, he started, like, paying me and stuff like that, and he would call me and all kinds of bullshit. but it was it's like it was a long process. Like, it almost took a whole year to deal with that. We were going back and forth, like, stuff wasn't going on, and stuff wasn't going on right. Like, it was a long process. It was a really, really long process. And so I would ask, I'm like, do your parents not ask about her? Do they not want to meet her? Do you not want to meet her? Like, what? And he was like, my parents are very upset with me because we're, like, very family oriented and whatnot and all kinds of bullshit. And I can tell, well, I think he is right, or he's telling me the truth on that, because the pictures that he has are, like, you know, like, their family, like, I guess, oriented, like, they're always together, or always seem like they're, like, all about family, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But I mean, I'm so scared to this day, because sometimes I'm like, so was it worth it or was it not worth it? You know, I guess finally for child support. But maybe I'll just stop here, because I need to gather up my thoughts and stuff for this next video. But I hope you guys like this video. Oh, and then, because I don't want to make these videos too long, so I'll try to post, like, a small one, like, every day maybe, or maybe every other day. But I hope you guys like it. Subscribe. I'll try to show you guys pictures and videos, or I'll try to put the pictures and videos, like, at the end of a video, so you guys could kind of see. But I guess stay tuned for the rest of the story. I hope you guys like it. Feel free to share, tell your friends and your mamas to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys maybe tomorrow.